We can't get enough of the word entrepreneurship, and it's one topic that will go on for a long time. Today, on yet another episode on Matter Africa, and today we'll be looking at entrepreneurship in the context of women empowering themselves. And discussing this topic with me today is a young lady who has done outstanding well for herself, and she's popularly known as Miss Good Shoes. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
So, who is Miss Good Shoes?
As the name implies,
Yes.
my name is Omoya Buliman, and people call me Miss Good Shoes because I connect a lot of people to their soulmates. In other words, I'm a shoemaker. I make shoes, belts, key holders, card holders for quite a number of people.
Okay, now every journey has a story behind it. So,
Yeah.
what brought about you going into making good shoes?
Well, it all started some years ago, I think about 4 years ago.
Okay.
Well, from everything, I would say it was frustration. Yes, frustration was the rock of everything. But then I also found a need in the footwear industry, made in Nigeria footwear industry.
Okay.
I saw a gap that needed to be filled, and that gap was excellence.
Okay.
You know, you see a lot of people, or you see shoes, and then there's one thing or the other that needs to be, amended, or it always has issues. So I saw that gap that I needed to fill, and I'm like, there are needs that need to be catered for, and I needed to fill in that gap in the footwear making industry. Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever seek for a job?
Well, I wouldn't say I seek for a job or I looked for a job, but then the only ever official thing that I ever did was in my NYC. That was 2015 to 2016. My NYC, and when they post people to their place of
PPA.
work, yes.
Yeah.
So that was a PPA, and that was IT. It was an IT firm.
Okay.
So that was the first time that I would say, okay, I had an office setting, but I never really looked for a job before or after then, because I just got out of school.
Okay.
And then I didn't look for any job. Yeah.
Now, everything has to do with passion. Do you have passion for good shoes, or because you were frustrated at that point, you were like, okay, the next thing is just start making shoes?
No.
Okay.
I would give you a background story, but then first things first, yes, I have passion.
Okay.
While I was in university, I sold bags and shoes. So I had a passion for leather. And everyone can testify, like everyone that I ever sold bags to, testified that I sold good leather shoes and bags. So that I had already had that in me. So when I got out of, in my PPA, my then boss used to frustrate me a lot. And I knew that I didn't want that for myself. I couldn't keep up with the whole work environment and frustrations that came with it. I knew this is not what I want for myself.
Okay.
That was why I decided to go into shoemaking. So I would say uni, when I was selling bags and shoes as a form of livelihood, I wasn't making then. I was, buying and selling. I would say that was like a foundation for me to say, okay, I know about bags, I know about shoes, I know a bit about leather. Why don't I go into making shoes myself in Nigeria? So that was where I got that passion from, basically.
As a young lady who is self-employed,
Yeah.
how would you rate the unemployment rate in Nigeria currently?
It's a sad thing, personally, for me, because you see, Nigeria is a blessed country, and we have the manpower, and if we look at the capacity there are no jobs. First things first.
Yeah.
And then secondly, some people are not employable. They are not employable.
When you say some people are not employable, what do you mean?
It means they don't have, I will not say majority,
okay,
because I've not experienced the majority.
Yeah.
But from my own little experience, you see that they don't know what it is to work in an environment. Some of them, they don't have, I don't know the exact words to put it into, but then
you don't have the
attitude,
skills?
not the skills, attitude to work.
Okay.
Yes. So we have the whole no jobs. Obviously, there are no jobs. But then again, the attitude to work in the average Nigerian, is it there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
or the right attitude to
the
work.
right attitude to work.
Yeah.
You are an employer of labor.
Yeah.
And you have gotten to meet so many unemployed youth around.
Yeah.
Will you say one of our major problems is the society? Do you think the society has to do with the rate of unemployment? And also you said something about attitude to work. Do you think it's part of the society?
Yes, it's a huge problem.
Okay.
Yes. First things first. The society, in sense that the government and the government is not helping in providing infrastructures that would also employ people.
Okay.
That is one major problem.
Okay.
And then secondly, I would say the right attitude to work. I've met quite a number of unemployed people, or people that I seek to employ, and then they don't have the right attitude to work. Some of them, they are skillful, but they are not hardworking. Some of them are, you see the ones that are not skillful, and they might be hardworking, but then because they don't have the skills, because they don't have the talent, because even if you train them, the right attitude to work might not just be there, and they just can't fit into the system.
Okay. Do you believe in women empowering women empowerment, like women empowering other women? Do you believe in it?
Obviously, yes. Why I would say yes is because a majority of my clientele are women.
Okay.
First things first. Okay. And when we say women empowering women, is we're trying to lift others up, most especially the woman gender, yes, especially in this part of the world, because in this part of the world, women are kind of like set aside, looked down upon, and But I believe in women empowerment. Okay. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go on a short break. Please go nowhere.
Your body bang, bang, your body bang, 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 your body bang, your body bang. Fire. And I give us when you take a selfie, when you take a pose, you the ginger the boy. Every time you bend the low, I'm okay when you take a selfie. When you take a pose, you the ginger the boy. Every time you bend it low.
Want to shoot a dope music video at 50% discount?
50% discount?
Yeah, 50% discount. Bougie Down to Television Nigerian with world-class equipment and a badass expert crew.
Okay, face your camera now. Shh. Continue.
Where was I? Everything extra.
Carolina, you bada.
Hurry up.
I know say this thing you did do, my girl, say your body is big and I know say
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is Mother Africa on Television Nigeria. Today we're discussing entrepreneurship in the context of women empowerment, and with me is a beautiful young lady. She is popularly known as Miss Good Shoes, Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, now, before we went on a break, I wanted to ask you, we are all in a society whereby everybody believes shoemaking has to do with the male gender.
Yeah.
So how have you been able to cope?
Well, personally, I see life in a different way.
Okay.
Although shoemaking is already, would I say, put together with the male gender, there's no length that personally I can't go to make the right shoes for people. So it's not just about the gender, it's about your ability to strive for excellence. How far can you go to strive for excellence? So personally, I don't believe gender should stop me from making shoes or stop any other woman from making shoes. I know quite a number of young ladies that have started making shoes because they saw me making shoes or because they were inspired by other women in other fields, or I would say women in fields that, are surrounded by men, yes.
Okay, now, how long have you been in this business?
Okay, the business is 3 years old, or rather will be 3 on the 1st of December 2019. And then in general, if I'm to start with the entire story, I would say the business is 4 years old.
Okay, the business is 4 years
Yes,
old.
the concept is 4 years old.
Now, 4 years down the line, that means there were no challenges. It was all rosy from the beginning.
Wow. See, starting a business is hard. Starting a business in Nigeria is harder.
Okay, why?
Because there are so many obstacles, so many difficulties. You see, other countries that where they don't have problems of electricity, starting a business maybe might be a bit difficult there, but then having all those difficulties and then you don't have electricity here, it's making it harder for you. Ideally, that's the context I'm going to say. But then starting off was not so easy for me because I got duped in the beginning. I got duped. Sourcing for some things were difficult for me. Electricity was a major issue for me because we deal with electricity for our finishing and the machineries and all of that. So yes, it was a bit difficult in the beginning, but and then again another difficulty was as at then not a lot of people have come to terms with made in Nigerian products. It's just recently that we started having the whole made in Nigeria awareness that people are now accepting made in Nigerian products. You see someone would come, see your product, oh, this is nice. And they'll be wondering, oh, is it Italian made? Is it made in China? Is it made in Vietnam? And they are interested, but the very minute you tell them it's made in Nigeria, you see their face just drop. And I'm like, why? So it's just recently that the whole made in Nigeria, would I say, campaign is reaching out to people, and people are actually believing in made in Nigerian products.
Now, before you started, you made mention of people don't really believe. Then people don't believe in made in Nigeria products.
Yeah.
Now, before you started making shoes,
Yeah.
did you actually patronize made in Nigeria product? Because you can't. I believe they say charity begins at home.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I would say to an extent, I patronized made in Nigerian products. From shoes,
Okay.
yes, to clothing, that's to our native attires, to bags, Ankara bags. As at then, I would say yes, I patronized. Even, I had friends that you used to make these really nice Ankara earrings, bangles, all these little accessories. Yes, I supported made in Nigerian products.
How many staff strengths do you have currently?
Okay, currently in-house 23. We have 23, okay, including myself, I'm a staff. 23,
Okay.
but then in general 27.
27.
Yes, please.
Okay, like how have you been able to sustain them when it comes to finance?
Well, I would say it has not been extremely rosy, but then the good part is the brand is growing. And when I mean growing, mean people know more of the brand, more people are buying. And that's why, because it used to be a team of one. It used to be just me.
Now you live in Nigeria, and you know what's been happening. Of course, everybody know what's been happening in Nigeria. You can't say you're a female and you don't know the recent sex for grade.
Oh,
We
yes,
all
I saw
went
it.
to universities so what's your opinion on sex for grade?
Greed is one main factor.
Okay.
Selfishness, lust
Okay.
is another main factor. Sex for grades is, and also I would also say laziness contributes to it.
Okay.
Yes. While I was in uni, I experienced it to an extent.
Okay.
Yes, I think that was in my 300 level, Bells University. I experienced it to an extent, but then I was able to get him off my back quite easily. Unlike some other girls that were not able to get some other lecturers off their backs, you know. So sex for grades, it's something that's awful. I stand against it wholeheartedly. I'm not in support of it. But then I see these mature old men that are sexual predators. I also think it's also a case of they're mentally not okay, because I don't see how lecturers, men in their 50s, 40s, 60s, are aiming to sleep with kids that are their daughter's age mates or kids they can give birth to. It's like seeing your daughter and wanting to sleep with her. Because children that are sent to school, they are sent to school to study. They are not sent to school to sleep with their lecturers. And I'm sure those lecturers, they have kids that are between 10 to 20 and even, but I would say the ideal age right now for kids in university is like 15 to about 25.
Yes.
And then these lecturers have sons and daughters or nieces and nephews that age, but then they then say, oh, because this one is a fine girl, let me see. It is wrong on every level, and I'm against it.
Okay. Do you think most of these things are not the female? They do, as in, I think most of these things that happen, shouldn't it be the female to be blamed?
Why would the woman be blamed?
Because I've heard a scenario whereby they said there's a saying that goes that, or people say that some girls in school these days, they don't want to read. Like, they are looking for the easy way out.
That's why I said that's where laziness comes in. You get what I mean? But even if a student does not want to study, is it not better that student experiences genuine failure? By the time that student fails the first class, fails the same class, maybe the second time, fails the same class the third time, your brain will tell you to go back to your books and read, rather than finding the easy way out. And also, it's a two-way thing. Why I say it's a two-way thing is, if you are given food that you don't like, or even if it's food that you like, but you know it's harmful to you, will you still eat it? So for our lecturers that at the end of the day, they know that this thing is wrong, but this girl child is coming to me, will you sleep with your daughter?
Okay, I think, don't you think that's where orientation is?
No, it's not orientation. It's common sense.
Common sense.
Yes.
Okay, now you are a shoemaker now. You're a young lady. You're working hard for your money.
Of course.
Now we have so many other ladies out there that will tell you there is no job. You tell you there are no jobs anywhere, and even to start a business, it's not easy. So what would you say to such ladies out there?
Now,
because most of these things will tell you, I'm in prostitution, I'm a prostitute, or she's a prostitute because there are no jobs out there. And where do you want me to get the money from to even start the business? So you started a business. How did you start?
Okay. Now, everyone's story is not the same.
Yes.
Everyone's upbringing, society, environment is not the same. But then I want to ask those ladies, if they were men, if you were born as a man, what will you do? It's very simple. You know, sometimes we make excuses. Let me tell you my story. You know, I said I was going to give you the back end story of how I started. As a copper, I didn't have any money aside my alawi and the little stipend I was paid at the office. But you know, day-to-day expenses, I spent it, nearly everything. I had very little money left. If I tell you the amount, you people will laugh at me. I had only 20,000 naira left. By the time I was done learning, I bought things here and there. Obviously, 20,000 naira finished. Right. How did I raise money? That's the next question,
yes,
right? How did I raise money? I had some few things that were a bit valuable to me. And I said, you know what? I will sell these things off to be able to raise money. Now, not everybody has the option of doing that. But I believe that if you look around you, rather than going into prostitution, rather than selling your body, there is always a way out. That is how I personally feel. I don't know why these other girls do it, but from my own opinion, from my own standpoint, there is no excuse for you to voluntarily go into selling your own body. And even if you sell your body, can't you raise money out of it to do something meaningful for yourself? You can always, you know, learn something. You can learn hairdressing, how to make nails, how to do lashes. There's so many opportunities. We are millions of people in Nigeria.
Yeah, we are.
Only one person cannot cater to everybody. I alone cannot cater to making shoes for all the Nigerians in Nigeria. You can learn something. When I started shoemaking, my dad thought I was crazy. Because I had quit from my job and everyone thought, is this girl alright? Why would she want to go into shoemaking? But I saw an opportunity there. I saw a gap that needed to be filled in the industry. I decided to go for it. Around you, there's so many opportunities. You just have to look. You need to look up. This person needs, there's no salon around here. There's nobody that knows how to make hair around here. I personally, where I live, I go a bit far to go make my hair. If not, I were into shoemaking, I think I would have started a salon or something. You get what I mean? So you have to look for opportunities. You have to look for what people need and give them what they need. So yes.
Okay. Now, on a lighter note, what advice would you give to women out there who feel it's who are not really seeing you just said there are opportunities everywhere, but there are people, even if you give them 10,000 naira today and tell them there are opportunities everywhere, go and make use of this 10,000 naira, they will still come back to you and tell you that they went out to look for the opportunity and they came back empty-handed. So what would you tell women out there that they are trying to get to their feet, you know, make good use of their talent or skills, or women that are close to being like, I'm in this world, there's nothing for me. You have a story which is fetching you good money today. Yeah, what advice do you have for other women out there?
Okay. For a woman out there, first things first. You are beautiful. Don't let anybody take advantage of you. And don't see your body as a tool to make money.
Okay.
Don't see yourself as a medium. You're not a pot that they say you're using yourself to cook rice for anybody. Yes, it's true.
It's true, it's true.
You need to see yourself, first of all, as a human being. What if I was born as a man? What would I do? So see yourself from that standpoint, and that whole prostitution, selling your body, it should be out of the picture. You shouldn't even be thinking about it. Even when offers come, you should push it aside. Look for opportunities. Look for things that you can do. Little things, very little things around you. There's so many things that you have to look out for. Check around you. What can you offer people?
Yeah.
Because one thing in life is, once you have value and you offer people value, they will come at it. It doesn't matter how big or how little it is. I've seen situations where on a normal day, you're just maybe at your workplace or you're outside, and you don't feel like taking oranges, but you see a little girl or you see somebody that's hawking oranges pass by and be like, that's true, I've not had oranges in some days now. Let me buy 100 naira on, or let me buy 200 naira on.
Yeah.
The Bible says, sorry to go religious, but you have to have handworks for you to eat.
Yes.
So no matter how little it is, be it farming, there's makeup industry, beauty industry, so many industries that you can offer value to people, and definitely they would obviously buy. But if you don't have anything to sell or nothing to offer, the next thing that they will look at is your body.
Yes. Okay, now the final question.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy what you do?
I love it. I love it. I enjoy doing what I do. Like every other field, you will get bored. Like every other field, or even even if you're working as a typewriter in the office, you enjoy typewriting, but then you get bored. Even if you are a receptionist, you enjoy being a receptionist, but at a point you will get bored.
Okay.
So that is I enjoy it, but like every other human being, when you're doing the same thing for a very long time, you might get bored. So yes, boredom comes in, but I really love what I do. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy meeting the peculiar needs of people's footwear sizing. I enjoy, especially, what makes me happiest the most is when people buy the Dachayo products for their partners, and they're like, oh, my husband loves it so much. He made, because I bought this for him, he bought me this in return, So that's the joy that I get from it, the satisfaction that a lot of people get from it. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're
It was
welcome.
nice talking to you.
You're welcome.
And that is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of Matter Africa. And I'm Zuwaira Hamza. Bye for now.